let's see here. Okay, yeah, volume's looking good. Let's get started. Today we're going to be hopping back into working some more on VoidMonster. I ended the stream yesterday with actually having the TNT spew out of the boss, and the last thing that we wanted to get working that wanted to say for this stream is just making those items invincible so it's not too punitive when you just have this big awesome moment of you kill the boss and then item and loot comes spilling out. We don't want that to immediately get destroyed by the TNT. It's funny if it gets moved around, but not destroyed. So I want to fix that. And then move on to also tracking arrows and tridents and seeing if we can move past that and potentially even track entities that fall into the void, like Endermen or whatever other mob happens to enter into the void. Probably majority Endermen, but maybe there will be something else. Who knows? So, all right, let's first try to recall where we left off yesterday. All right, so yeah, some nice big craters. If I recall correctly, we were using a little platform to actually throw some stuff off in the void from. Here it is. Man, I get so turned around so easily. All right, let's grab some TNT. And let's grab some colors of wool. Okay. Let's throw you in. This is just so I can easily see when we spawn in a boss these colors on the ground. Okay. And right now the boss is just a wither, but that might eventually change. Let me prepare the command so that we can easily get rid of it. Okay. Do our summon command and our kill command. And you definitely see the TNT spill out. I don't know if it actually destroyed any of the items. Maybe I didn't add enough. I don't see any lime dye. That's probably the one that got blown up. And I just have it showing me the hitboxes, so it's easier for me to find the items fell on the ground. Okay, yeah, so we didn't end up with any lime dye. Guessing it got blown up. Alright, so let's take a look here at, actually I'll minimize this. Alright, where we left off yesterday, boss was properly spawning in TNT, but we also added the mechanic of a loot protection listener, which is not working. Here is that. Okay, let's try to see what's going on here. Probably need to add some debug. So we definitely have loop protection listener being registered on enable. This one contains the on enable. So that should be good. TNT obviously causes block explosion, especially if it's not directly entity triggered. Update the on item damaged by explosion. If event get cause, damage cause, entity explosion, and event get cause, damage cause, block explosion. Seems reasonable. Bring this down a level so it's easier to see. I think I can. It makes more sense to do that. And add debug log to confirm the damage event is firing. Yeah, it's probably a good call. Let's add this one as well. Double check when you spawn the item you're doing this. So I believe it's in Boss Manager. And we have scattering. Shuffle. This is our TNT. Let's see here. So that's fine to me. So oh, did I not do it? I must not have. Loop protection and stuff, but it's not treasure tuning, most likely causing block explosion instead of entity explosion. Okay. That what we just added? I think we should add that little bit here. Let's see, is this correct? It looks good to me, but again, for any of those that are just tuning in, we are heavily utilizing ChatGPT to kind of learn. By no means am I an expert, so if you happen to learn something from me, great, but really you're just along for the journey to see me learn what little I can as I basically build as I learn. So I am heavily relying on ChatGPT to get things right, and when it doesn't, we work through that as well. So, all right, let's see here. So we added a bunch of debugging. Hopefully that helps us understand what's going on. And then it also recommended that we check for block explosion and not just entity explosion. So now that we have added that bit, I'm going to go ahead and build or compile the latest changes, and then we'll throw it on the test server and see what happens. Okay. All right, let me restart the test server. Hopefully I wasn't in a dangerous location. Probably was. I always forget to check where I was. Okay. Back over. Oh, nope, I was in a good spot. All right. Creative mode. Throw some items into the void. Throw some TNT. We'll summon another boss and see what happens. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. That's probably good enough. Okay. Let's see here. Got the kill command ready. Let's do the summon command, and then I'll turn on debug. Oh yeah. Okay, that actually looks really promising. None of the items got destroyed. Let's find out. Oh yeah, it totally canceled the explosion damage. Nice. I mean, the debug's, well, it's absolutely ridiculous because we are doing a lot. Yeah. The debugs look absolutely crazy, but they tell us a lot of detail. Hold on. Minimize you. Alright, yeah, so here's this huge debug. So basically we see the scan, we see that it gets the right world, that it's checking the threshold, then I actually killed it. And then, I mean, because this scan is running like twice every second. So it's very spammy for the debug. But then it also tells us about any entities. So because we had another star, all of a sudden now that's showing. Then we can see all this red wool. TNT. Mark it all as invincible. Then we actually spawn all the TNT. We're still checking for all that information. But then the real kicker is right about... Hold on. Nope, it's still holding on to them until... Like, all of this is happening in fractions of a second. And then here is the actual item taking damage, and then we cancel the damage. I think that's working. And damage, and we canceled it. Nice. Yeah, I think we can move on to arrow and trident tracking. The question is, here's the thing though. What's supposed to happen is these items become like totally normal items after this. And now if I throw them out again, they're no longer like invincible. They're just invincible until I pick them up. That's what's supposed to be happening. So let's just double check that. Yep. Totally normal items again. Excellent. Okay. All right. I think we can move on. Okay. Everyone trying to tracking. So I want to take a look at how the current config is coming along. Let's do both at the same time. Call it projectiles, but allow the server owner to dial in if they want one or the other. The config section might look similar to how we did the TNT section, which is as follows. We also want to make sure we are utilizing the config option, which is agile spawning. Okay. It's gonna be here. Don't need this bit. I shrunk it a bit as the first few lines were redundant. Yep, that's what I did. Oops. Line that up so it looks a bit nicer. Top level, make sure we've included, which we have. Then I need to add 2 new booleans into the config manager. Projectile section in the config manager needs to look more like this. Already top level, we want to keep where they are at the root. I believe they're already here. Item tracking rules. Yep, those are already there. So we just need you. TNT launch settings. All right, for TNT, we add the following with summon and launch setting split to. Should we do the same for arrows or for projectiles? All projectiles have the same velocity. Minimats horizontal, minimats vertical. Let's literally just add this bit. We use this terminology for TNT. So let's make the projectiles match. Before we said changes angle, it is enable bonus for projectiles launch settings to randomize the angle or the velocity. Okay, that makes more sense. All right. So then I still need to go into the getters, I think. Yes. Yes. Config manager. This. And where's all the nice little comments? Okay, so we have mode is fixed, random or preserved. Then fixed velocity settings if mode is fixed. And random velocity settings if mode is random. Velocity. And then we want to probably change this. Projectile launch settings. And instead of random jitter, we're going to do say randomness because of the wording change. Yep. Okay. And then let's update this one. If true, projectiles. Can be launched beyond boss's scatter radius. Yes. I think we can copy these notes. Vertical Y speed multiplier. And then we also have yeah. Okay. I think this is right. That looks good to me. Hope I didn't miss something. Is this correct? Where are you, config manager? What different configs for chat? Ooh. Yeah, I'm wondering if I allow you to split up a different behavior for arrows versus I mean it doesn't really make a ton of sense for them to be like totally different. Does it? Yes, let's split out summon modes to be independent for arrows versus tridents. Yeah. I like that. Yes, let's update the config manager accordingly. So instead of just get projectile summon mode, we're gonna break it into these two. Yep. We made the default for tridents fixed, I believe. Right? Yeah. Should we decouple the velocity and no, I'll leave them the same for now. and build out the functionality now. Its phase, an item void listener, detect when arrows or tridents fall below the void grab. It's allow us to see and store it, tag it, extend the stored void item, and then on boss death, we're actually going to spit it all out. Yeah, sounds reasonable. Hey. Let's start with item void listener. The current code is as follows. So yeah, we should just be adding here's void item entity handling, void TNT entity handling, so it should just kind of stick right here at the bottom. I want to make sure I'm grabbing the right section here. Yeah. Yep. Right? Hey. Wow. A lot of red. A lot of things that we probably need to add. I assume, yep, we need to add that. Oops. Yes. Yep. Gotta add tridents too. And then we just have to create the stored void projectile next. Where did it add those? Port class. Did it just do entity everything? Is that how it got away with it? Huh. Okay. So now let's do in void item manager. Yes. Here's what the current code looks like for void item manager. Okay. So we're definitely going to be adding a section like stored void TNT entities underneath this section. That's what would make sense to me. Doing similar things of do we want to tag it with who fired them? Yeah, I think so. We just add both. Arrow, trident, time TNT. We have Java util or dope bucket. What was it complaining about? On right, or dope bucket requires. Yeah. Or dope bucket. I need to do that that way. That make it happy? This nose always feels reached. Add method in void item storage like this. Where to put you? Don't think I want to do it like that. Current void item storage looks like. Add below. Store void item. Okay. I don't think that's get total items. Good, clear, right? There's the load. What is it talking about? Void item storage. They don't use item stack. Okay. Talking about here? Store void item. Oh, hold on. I'm guessing it's right here. Yeah. We have to do a store projectile instead of store void item. Mm-hmm. Below store item. Where? I'm guessing here. Yes. Stored items. Add 3. Add projectile to memory. Store projectile. Save all items to disk. Add item to memory with an optional source. Projectiles to memory. Yeah, that's where I want to put that. And then update clear, clear and save. Right? Clear and save. Ah, here it is. That's not, I'm looking in the wrong section. I've got to be. Did TNT explode on return? You bet it did. Yeah, it's actually really cool. Hold on. So we actually have like a lot of options when it comes to TNT. So there's 3 different modes: fixed, random, and preserve. So what that does is determine the fuse that's left on the TNT. So if it's in fixed mode, we basically ignore however it entered into the void, and we just give it like, here's how long until you explode, with a little note to don't exceed 80 tits, because that's 4 seconds. That's what the vanilla fill is. Obviously, if they wanted to, sure, make it whatever the heck you want. If it's random, then we give each TNT a fuse between a min and a max. So in this mode, where we're suggesting, 1 second to 4 seconds, but ultimately you could do whatever the heck you want here. And then preserve just whatever was left when it went in. That's what's happening when it comes out. But then we also have the ability to do some interesting stuff with like launching the TNT. So rather than it just like spilling out of the boss and staying right where the boss was, There's a couple different options: burst, arc, upward, or static. So static is where it would just sit right where the boss died. Then you've got burst, arc, and upwards. And you've got some speed options and arc angles and even adding a little bit of randomness. And if we're going to completely ignore the scatter radius, so one of the options we have up here is a scatter radius right here, boss scatter radius. That's essentially how far to allow the items to be randomly distributed beyond where the death actually occurred. So if we want to just ignore that for the TNT, we can, or if we want true, then it can basically go beyond that 8-block radius that we've set. So we're going to do the same thing for projectiles, arrows, and tridents. Have a fixed, a random, or preserved velocity. Whether or not to add some slight randomness to the launch angle, and to whether or not to ignore the scatter radius. So that is what we're building out right now. And I lost my place. We were in void item storage. Yes. Clear and save. And then update, save, and load. Save all items for this section. Load. If well contains items, return this. So I believe we want that here. Let's see if this is correct. Is this correct? I think it is. In load, a projectile void item fails to load. You silently ignore it. You could log these for diagnostics. Yeah, that's probably a good idea. You might want to later get a get speed method on store projectile to preserve launch speed. Isn't that what the velocity is doing? Hold on. Config. We have preserved, restores velocity and angle from where it fell. In preserve mode, we restore the velocity and angle. Isn't velocity speed? A vector with direction and magnitude. You restore versus randomized mode. You just preserve speed but randomize direction. Wait, hold on. What are you doing here, bud? I feel like we already had this figured out and then it just started complicating things. We have the storage. Yup. we needed to do this. Yeah. Hold on. It started taking me down the wrong avenue. Item tag utility. There we go. I need to. Here's the current code. Place this right below get dropped by. Read player tag. Two related problems. Okay, this is too much. Hold on. Case argument tied. Huh? Case argument. Item meta. Requires type item meta. But isn't that what's happening here? Oh, there's something I'm not understanding. So in void item manager now. Aaron, come on. Aaron Trident are saying case argument to item meta. And Trident are saying case argument to. I don't even know what that means. Case argument to item. What does this mean and how do I fix it? Case argument, likely paraphrased by your entity, usually means you accidentally treated an entity type or entity as if it were an item meta, which is completely different type. This often happens with code. Item tag get dropped by entity. Entity is not an item meta. Make sure that you only parse item meta into the item tag methods. Well, that's entirely your doing. Make sure item tag utility get dropped by. I don't have that at all. Huh. Okay. Give me just a moment. I will be right back. I gotta deal with a needy cat. Okay. Sorry about that. He was being very loud. Very needy. So now he's got his little toy and he's dragging it around like it's his prized possession. Okay. I'm still not there. I'm not sure how this is happening. Whoa, 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 whoa. Just trying to grab this. This is the code throwing the errors. Let's see. Get shooter name arrow. Because those are entities, not item meta objects. Oh. So we have to change this to... Wait. Whoa. Hold on. It like totally changed it on me. Huh. It's like, nope, you got to do this totally different. Okay. And now we say specifically arrow or trident. Yeah? Get shooter returns a projectile source, which may be a player, skeleton, dispenser, etc. You're checking instance of player to safely grab their name or leave null if unknown. You're not using item meta here because entities like arrows don't have item metadata. Store use IDs. Okay. So I'm pretty sure like you can you can definitely retrieve a thrown trident or TNT. So we want to hold on. You can retrieve a thrown trident or arrows. So we want to rename them with the name of the player who shot them into the void. You're giving feedback on a new version of ChatGPT. Which bots do you prefer? Where shot them in the void? Why are you seeing this error? Accept. Fades, grab the shooter straight from the timer. Replace two methods in Void Item Manager with the version below. Void Item Storage. I prefer this one. That one's. I think we're already utilizing. Hold on. We're not even really utilizing this anymore because we're not saying dropped by. Okay. Yeah, I think that's the one through a little bit more. When respawning, arrows are tridents after the boss dies, similar for tridents. You're not modifying the items type because they're now entities. This makes it clear who shot it in the void and adds Mr. Flag when they come flying back out. Okay. So we don't care about the name until the arrow, which could be all different types of arrows, or the trident is picked up and becomes an item again. We need to make sure we are preserving any enchants and arrow type. You're saying when arrows or tridents are respawned, they are launched as entities with velocity, but when they land and become item stats again, that's when the meta matters. We want the items, not just the entity, to remember who shot it, enchantments, whether it was spectral or tipped arrows for tridents, loyal to channeling, what this means for design. You need to store both the entity's velocity and a complete item stack clone for when it lands and is picked up again. Right now you're only storing the velocity and shooter name, but we need to expand that class to include the item stack as well. Update the store projectile class, which I believe is in here. Nope. Hold on. What item manager? Store void projectiles. Hold on. Is there a way to just Search for this class in IntelliJ. Maybe Bacon? Maybe you know? Search classes. Void item storage. Oh, okay. Yep, that made sense. Void item storage. Yep. Okay. Okay, so we're just adding this little extra bit. Do we even need that? Date store. Store void projectile. That is in void item manager. Huh. And save. Projectile. We need to do. Here. That's the save. Then we have the load itself. Oh, we gotta update you to include item instead of just type. And then need to do this bit too. And load. I think it's here. Oh, hold on. Nope. I think it's the. Man, I gotta make this wider. Hold on. Where did I just get shot up to? Here. I think the order matters. Item type. Velocity, X velocity, Y velocity, Z, shooter, and source. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Expected 6 arguments, but found 7. Why is it only expecting 6? Oh, okay. Store projectile. Where's store projectile? An item manager? Hold on. I think it's this. Right? String projectile type dots. It should just take me to where I needed to do this. I think I'm correct. I'm not certain. It's trying to tell me, but it's confusing. As first parameter to constructor stored projectile, but is stored projectile in here? Yes, it's gotta be. Up at the top? Okay. Hold on. Is it because I didn't add it here? Item, comma. Nope. Hold on. That messed it up more. Isn't that what it was? It was suggesting. Item stack item, then then string. Okay. That was item stack item, comma, string projectile type. Then double X, double Y, double Z. Okay. Yes. Be happy now? Or is there still a problem? Item? Type name. Source, shooter name, velocity. Where's it getting these? Store projectile. It's gotta be item type. Item projectile type. How did this become type name? Got velocity. Somewhere this is beyond me. Hold on. was wild. Alone? What? Wait. Oh, we had to add it. That's why I think I was getting so confused. Something fundamentally I didn't understand. Something's still not quite right. Item stack. Item? Is that what's going on here? I think this is now correct. Is this now correct? Okay. So I think we have the config section for arrows. We've got the manager for storing the arrows. Nope, but that's still not quite right. Hold on. Because we still need to add. Hold on. There's something still not quite right here. Okay, so either it's saying we need to create a method in void item storage, or remove the first parameter. Huh. Don't know what that means. Here's the current void item. Manager. And this is void item storage. Somewhere, something isn't quite right. Ah, I knew there was something going on here. Arrow get item. there's still something wrong with get item. Get item is depreciated since version 1.20.4. Hold on. To preserve, including gems, you should manually reconstruct the item stack from projectiles using logic like this. Update the void item methods. And then we just say item. Yeah, no, return false. So all of this becomes this. Okay. Does that go away and then it's very hard for me to like see it? Use of API, march for removal options. Were we not trying? Arrow good item is depreciated, but hipped arrow is still supported. Huh. Wow. This. Also get enchantments. Is apparently get enchantments now that we have apparently. Let's see here. Okay. Whoa. Okay. It's losing me here. All right. Yeah. I think my brain's just getting a little tired. So, let me take a quick little 15-minute intermission here, and I will be right back. Alrighty, and we're back. A little brief intermission there. All right, so let's try to pick up where we were last on, which was needing to update again some logic in our void item manager and our void item storage, specifically retaining to arrows and tridents. And I got a little confused because I've made quite a few changes. So I was like, where are we currently? What are we doing? So yeah, that is essentially what we're going to be doing is we're going to replace some current stuff with some updated code. The reason being is I want to be able to keep track of stuff like enchantments, who shot the arrow, and preserve any like tipped arrows, etc. So okay, let's see if this kind of takes care of those issues. No, we created different issues for ourselves. Update void item storage. So I'm going to move on for the moment. This is our current one, which we already have. Okay, well, you didn't realize that you just created a bunch of can't resolve symbols, so we just need to add tipped arrow. Bucket inventory meta potion meta. We just need to do a bunch of enchants or imports, sorry. Can't resolve method get enchantment level in trident. Set base potion data is depreciated since 1.20.6. Which we avoided a different issue by going this method, which was depreciated in 1.20.4, and now we just gave ourselves a new problem that it's depreciated as of 1.20.6. Huh. Okay. Jeez. Okay. Well, that just created a new problem. Oh, hold on. Nope. That's because I didn't add this line. Well, that just created new problems for me. Hold on. This should just be set item 2. Set potion meta. Goodness gravy. Okay. Sorry, I apologize. My cat is going absolutely bananas right now, and I need to try to calm him down because my gosh, I can't think. He's so loud. Sorry, I will be right back again. Alright, sorry about that. My gosh. He would not let me have peace. Okay. I want to see all of it. Why can't I copy this? Copy problem description. Oh my gosh, okay. I got it. Let's take a picture, because I don't know how to just copy all of them. Is there a way? I don't think so. There's probably, but I just don't know yet. Where? Arrow. You. Ah, here. Oops. That fits a lot. Values. These look identical. There's something I don't. Oh, I see. It's literally just adding the comment. Okay, that one. and this one. Yeah, so we never added methods for this. So it made sense. Okay. So I have to do it this way instead. And this idea that it came up with was just like made up out of nowhere. It is marked as depreciated since 1.20.6, hence why we were trying another method. I don't care how we do it, I just want it to work. Kind of confused at this point. This is beyond my understanding, and so now I'm just going, I don't know, fix it. Yeah, it's thoroughly confused the heck out of me. It keeps changing its mind. Do it this way. Nope, that's depreciated. Okay, we'll do it this way. Well, that doesn't work. Go back to the first way. You're going in circles. Okay, I think this is making... Well, I couldn't say it made sense, but I can see what it's trying to do here. Now it's back to using a get item. Ah. Oh. Okay, I don't know if I believe it anymore because it's changed its mind like 20 times. But I don't know any better. Ah. We are using Java 21. Is that going to help it understand what the heck it's doing? Yes. Goodness. Didn't realize tipped arrows were going to be so picky. It keeps doing this nonsense. This is where it'd actually be nice if I knew what I was doing. Are you sure it's actually not depreciated? Because you keep giving me depreciated stuff. Oh my heck, man. Why does it keep doing that? Now you're back to this issue. It gets rid of issue 1 just to create another issue. It's like in a round robin, just over and over and over. I do not trust this at all. We're just gonna keep going, keep going, keep going. Okay, can you start over from scratch? We're in a loop. Fixing one problem and creating another. As soon as it's changed to not use one depreciated, then use a different one. Oh my gosh, this is so ridiculous. You're actually going to give me something useful this time. Actually, no. Almost. I don't know. We'll see if this actually is usable code. Holy moly. Huh. Okay. Wow. That was difficult. Does this properly track the arrow and tridents owner and velocity / speed when it entered the void? Enchantment's not trapped by default due to no access on trap. Option fetch using MBT. What the heck was the point of that? We absolutely must hold on to the type of tipped arrow it was. Poison, speed, etc. And we absolutely must preserve the tridents enchantments. These are a must. Huh. We shall see. That's fine. Usually it suggests man, what an absolute pain. Come on. Don't believe you, but we're gonna try it anyway and see what happens. Yep. It figures. Eventually it'll get it right, maybe. Materials, enchants, we got all the entities already. Item stack, item, potion meta, potion effect. Okay. So it appears that this is fine now. is, okay. Interesting. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So let's see if this ends up being correct. Oh, maybe. Maybe. I mean, no errors. Okay, here is the latest code that does not throw any errors. I want to confirm it tracks who threw it into the void and tracks its speed and velocity, as well as the type of arrow it was and any potion effects it had, as well as any trident enchantments. This captures a player name. Okay. Well, this saves the custom effects in color. It doesn't include the actual base potion type like poison resistance and stuff. However, you're only relying on custom effects. Oh, enchantments on tridents, then copy them to the new item. So if I shoot, let's see, hold on. Arrow. Shoot an arrow of leaping with jump boost 2. That's the same type of arrow that will be summoned when you kill the boss. Almost not completely. But it shoots a real arrow of leaping into the void and later it's launched out to VoidMonster. Should still apply jump boost 2 when it hits. It should still show purple tint and tooltip for leaping. If we don't preserve the base type, the arrow might appear as a generic tipped arrow instead of a showing arrow of leaping, not applying the intended jump boost effect. Custom fits do work, but not all its arrows and base is the primary way arrows are defined. How to fix it without depreciated eye. We can say to preserve the base post type as a custom string using item tag utility. Here's how to resummon it. You read void potion type for the meta. Currently, the arrow retains potion effects only if they are custom, not base types like poison fits. You must manually store the base type as a string, and optionally reply it. Would you like me to? Yes, this is what I want, and I'm assuming this also will work for arrows like arrow of regeneration, or arrows slow falling, or even spectral arrows. Man, having to think of like all the different permutations of types of arrows certainly makes this tricky. Okay. Okay, so we need to still build out then the tracking in item tag util and hold on here, where is that? Nope, you. And likely update once more. Void item manager. Okay. All right, this is giving me more trouble than I thought it would. I don't think in a reasonable amount of time that I'm gonna get all this added and then testable. So what I'd like to do here is I'm gonna go ahead and continue working off this off camera, and then hopefully tomorrow when I do the next stream, we'll have something to actually show. I think that'll go a little bit better than keep trying to plug away at this, because this is certainly creating some difficulties. So on that note, I'm going to go ahead and end the stream for today, and then I will be back tomorrow to work on this some more. So thanks everyone who stopped in, left some comments, and hopefully I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.